Hey guys, it's Bub here. In this video we're revisiting Classic 7 for the third time. We first took a look at Classic 7 back in the middle of 2024, where it was arguably one of the best versions of Windows 10 that looks and feels like Windows 7. That is the goal of Classic 7, to restore a modern version of Windows 10 to look and feel like Windows 7. Then 6 months later, at the end of 2024 in December, we revisited Classic 7 as they had made some quality of life improvements that made the OS substantially better and actually made it feel a lot more like Windows 7. Now here we are in January of 2026, revisiting Classic 7 for the third time, because at this point we are on release candidate 1.5, which promises to bring yet again more quality of life updates and makes this OS feel even better. If I recall correctly, back from that December 2024 experience, we had the developer comment and saying that future builds would improve on things, specifically the Windows Explorer, and hence it's been over a year. Here is to hoping that this build addresses some of those inconsistencies. Not that there were that many, because it quite honestly was a very good build. Let's take a look here. And we can see the immersion starts immediately after booting out of the ISO. It looks like Windows 7. It feels like Windows 7. Copyright 2009. I cannot tell you that this is Windows 10, aside from the fact that the startup screen had the loading dots. This looks like Windows 7, feels like Windows 7. It's honestly kind of impressive that they're able to do this. From their webpage, this build is built on Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC 2021, obviously a one-to-one feel to Windows 7. So that was a very simple setup, looks and feels exactly like the Windows 7 setup screen so far, so let's let this expand Windows files, and we'll be back in the out-of-box experience. Alright, and here we are in the Windows 7, or Classic 7 rather, out-of-box experience. We'll go ahead and just give this the username Windows. We don't need a password. We also don't need a product key. We accept the terms. No updates. Looks fine. Feels identical to Windows 7. In fact, so far, aside from that loading screen that we saw in the ISO, I would not be able to tell you this is Windows 10. You put me in front of this, and as this is somebody who's reviewed all sorts of different versions of Windows, I would not be able to tell that this is Windows 10 in the back end, because it looks and feels okay. That's the first sign I can even tell you that this may be Windows 10. That banner that pops up, it was probably applying some sort of final tweaks, final scripts in order to make Windows 7 look like Windows 7. I'm gonna let this do its thing and then install VMware Tools, and then we'll be back. Alright, and here we are on the desktop of Classic 7 with VMware Tools installed. Let's first take a look at what's on the desktop. So by default, we of course have our recycle bin, as well as we just got a warning that this computer is not running genuine Windows, which very well replicates Windows 7. Pretty cool, so we're going to close out of that and ignore that, just as I would if we were in Windows 7. So the shortcut on the desktop, Welcome to Classic 7, is just a WordPad document that gives us some more information. This is a release candidate build of Classic 7, which means we are 99% way there and should be mostly stable. Very cool, because the last time we took a look at this, like I said, it was not in the release candidate stage. It was not 99% of the way there. As we can see here, these are the credits to all of these wonderful people who made this possible. So thank you to everybody for contributing to this project and making this video possible. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the taskbar, which replicates Windows 7 not even almost perfectly. We have the show desktop button. We have our calendar and our clock. We have our volume, which does play the right sound. We have our network. We have our action center, followed by even Windows Media Center running in the background, followed by VMware Tools, which I installed, Bluetooth, and safely remove hardware and eject media. All of these things are just perfect compared to the way that they were in Windows 7. Moving over to the left side of the taskbar, we do have our Windows Media Player, our File Explorer that we'll take a deeper dive into in just a little bit, and then we have Internet Explorer. Now, Internet Explorer in Classic 7 is actually Firefox, as we can see here. But the reason for this is because it is Firefox running a theme. This theme is meant to look like Internet Explorer, probably whatever version came with this. I don't remember what version came with, let's see, IE 9. The reason for this is so that you can use modern websites with modern web engines while still looking and feeling like Windows 7. So if I were to go to google.com On IE7, it would probably look a little weird because it has a lot of different, it has missing things that websites today use. But here it looks and performs flawlessly just as we would expect. Then we can move into our start menu, which again, at first glance, I couldn't tell you this is Windows 10. Going down this side, we have all of the traditional pinned things that we would in Windows 7. We then have our recent and pinned apps, which the only thing here is the Welcome to Classic 7, because it's the only thing we've opened. Moving into all programs, we can see that we have our default programs, our gadget gallery, Internet Explorer, things that we would traditionally expect to see. Tablet PCs here. We have our games. Everybody who's watched this channel knows that my favorite game for back in the day was Purple Place on Windows Vista. Haven't played it in a while though, but that was my game back when I had Vista. Then we have maintenance, and lastly the startup, which that's why Media Player was running, because the sys tray from Media Center is running by default on startup. Let's go into the File Explorer and take a look, because as one of my previous interactions with the developer in my last Classic 7 video, they said that File Explorer improvements were coming. So let's take a look here. And again, so we can see we have the window borders that match Windows 7 perfectly. This beautiful sheet of glass arrow effect, the nice colors that come with Windows 7. I mean, it's really, Windows 7's UI is timeless, and I think looks even good today, especially with things like macOS 26 kind of bringing back this style in a way. Let's scroll through these sort of different files and folders here, so everything looks exactly as it would in Windows 7. And we can even see here we have the sort of banner ribbon at the top. We can customize that. We can go to help. We can change that. I mean, it's all here. Then, of course, the part where I spend most of my time, this computer here, we can see we have our local disk C. We are using 12.6 gigabytes out of a 59.3 gig disk, so it's not really a, quote, tiny OS like we're normally used to, but it never promised to be that. Still smaller than a Windows 11 install, though. Really bothers me that Windows 11 is as gigantic in install size as it is today. Let's go into the actual task manager here. Let's see what services we're running. There's Windhawk. I mean, to me, that's the only thing that stands out that doesn't normally run. You can scroll through services here, take a look at what's running. Performance, so we can see here's our CPU utilization and our RAM utilization. This is physical memory, not page files. So I gave this VM 2 gigs of physical memory, and we're using 633, 700. It's where it's hovering about, just sitting idle with VMware tools installed. Let's take a look at some of the customization features. So when we go to personalize, well, first I saw that we actually have gadgets, which I would expect for Windows 7. So if I wanted to throw like a calendar on there, yep, there's our calendar. We do have our arrow snapping, left, right, and full screen. Again, remember that the quarter snapping didn't come until later, so we don't have that functionality, but I digress. Here we can see we have all of the default Windows 7 arrow themes. We have the basic and high contrast themes, and I should be able to, change the window glass color to really any shade that's here or any color intensity, which was a really cool feature of Windows 7 that they let you do that. You could really customize the OS to how you wanted just by changing the color of the window glass. You want really orange glass? Well, there you go. You even actually, I didn't realize you had this, you had custom color mixers. For some reason that I didn't know that was there. But I won't spend too much time on this because I could get stuck in here all day changing colors. Let's go back to the default and close out of there. With that being said, this is a high-level overview of Classic 7. Definitely let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and if you have any other ISOs or custom operating systems you want me to take a look at. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.